And we're very excited to be joined by Alexander Mattison. And Alex, man, like we were kind of talking about this on the walk up here. Like, how do you guys as a team navigate the funkiness of this midweek holiday, right? Like Christmas was yesterday as we record here on a Thursday. You guys had the day off. Like logistically, how do you as a team kind of, I don't want to say like separate, but kind of understand like, hey, we got the first part of the week, things get kind of thrown off, and now we got to get ready for a game on Sunday?
It's definitely one of those things. I mean, you understand your job. You understand, it comes with the swing of things when it comes to a schedule, when it comes to the way that things are lined up in the NFL. So it's one of those things that you just kind of adjust. You go with the flow, and, we're blessed to have Christmas off. That meant that we had to have an extra day earlier where we had to prepare, and we had to make sure we take off our bodies because we just came off a game. So there's those different things, but you just adjust, you go with it, and at the end of the day, our bodies find a way to be good to go on Sunday.
Yeah, and obviously we'll look ahead a little bit, but before we do, like just in the grand scheme of things, right, and obviously the season hasn't gone the way that any of us would have hoped or expected, but just the importance of getting a win, right, in terms of, having a positive outing on the score sheet there, getting the vibes in the locker room, like going back to last week, like how important was it just to give guys a reason to be happy, excited, fired up to come to work?
I mean, that to me, I think, is the number one thing that you aim for as a team, is to get the victory. So no matter what point in the season, no matter, what the record may look like, that's our end goal every single week. And every day that we come in to prepare, every time we go out to practice, to iron sharpen iron out there on the gridiron, that's the end goal that we want. So for us to be able to go out there and do that for one another, that's big for us, and that's huge. And I think that we want to just continue to try and build off that momentum. And I think once you can capture a momentum like that, it continues over and it bleeds over, not only just for the team going forward, but for the organization, for the fan base. So we're doing it for more than just, that win, but what that win means.
How good did it feel to get back in the end zone too?
Oh, it felt good. Felt real good.
You go back to, the short run. Like, what are the challenges? I know I don't want to say like the average fan, but you see like, oh man, they're so close to the goal line. Like, of course this guy going, but we know it's just like a car crash down there. Like, what's the most challenging part of scoring one of those like really short yardage type of touchdowns?
They know what we're going to do.
Yeah.
We know what we're going to do. And it's may the best man win. It's 11 guys lined up to stop you and 10 guys to block for you. So, you do the math and it's like, well, somebody potentially can be free, somebody can miss a block, whatever the case may be. But back there, you go in, you try and do the best that you can to trust your O-line and trust the play development. And then, of course, on the other side of that, you got to do what you can to impose your will and get in the end zone.
Speaking of that offensive line, and there's been so many different combinations of dudes up front, and obviously another one last weekend. But, you look at some of the, the staples of that offensive line. You got two rookies that are playing a lot of football, man. You look at JPJ and DJ and dudes that have just played a ton of football for young guys in 2024. When you look at the development of those two guys in particular, where do you think they're better today than they were September, October of this year?
Oh, man, they've grown a lot. I mean, Jackson, he's moved around on the O-line a couple of different times, going from guard to center, and he's flying around. DJ, I mean, honestly, I forgot he was a rookie. The way that he carries himself, the way that he's progressed, and the way that he takes on the challenges of, some of these amazing DNs that we have to play week in and week out, that he just takes on a challenge. And I just seen a lot of growth throughout the season. And up to this point, I think they have a extremely bright future ahead of them in this league, and super proud of the job that they've done.
From your perspective and kind of your position as a back running behind those dudes, like just in generalities, like what are the hardest things for young linemen to be good at in the NFL?
I would say holding. Definitely it would be one of the ones, because defenders know how to manipulate O-linemen, especially rookie O-linemen, to get those calls, things like that. I would say holding is one of the things that you see a lot, like rookie linemen. And then just knowing that you are strong enough, fast enough, big enough, like knowing that you're in a position that you're in to play because you earned it, and that you are capable of blocking whoever it is. Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, whoever's on that other side of the ball, having that confidence that your preparation has prepared you for that moment. I think that's one of the things that they have to get over. You know, as a rookie, you might be like, oh my gosh, that's, you know, the number one DN. But like I said, like DJ, I think has carried himself in that way where I just forgot that he was a rookie.
Did you have any of those moments you talk about kind of not getting over the hurdle, but like kind of getting over that mental, like, oh my gosh, this is like a dude that I was watching on Sunday 6 months ago? Like, did you have any of those moments as a rookie where you're like, all right, I kind of need to like shake out of this because like I got a job to do?
There was a few. I would say like my rookie year, Jadeveon Clowney. He was in Seattle at the time, and we were playing them, and there was a play that I had like just ran into his chest, and he slammed me down. And I was like, you know what? Like, that didn't hurt that bad. So then I kind of snapped out of it. Like, it doesn't, like, I'm good.
He's
I'm
just
good.
a dude. Yeah. He's a good dude, but he's a dude.
Yeah, definitely. And then there's, of course, you know, there's so much respect from like the other side of the ball, like seeing some of the guys that you've grown up watching, and like Bobby Wagner, playing against him and seeing how smart of a player he is. Like, he's all over the field, and learning from that. Like, playing against him taught me so much. And it's crazy because, like, you see him play, and then finally, like, you're able to play against him, and you learn even more. So there's a lot of players that I have a lot of respect for, and it's awesome to have those experiences like that.
You know, speaking of guys that have, you know, been doing it at a high level, guys that have been in the league, and guys that just keep finding a way to, you know, keep on going on, is you look at Ameer, right, and what Ameer has meant to this team the past couple of weeks. But, like, you know, when you look for an offense, you know, going back to last week, when you got two backs that are rolling, when you're going and Ameer's rolling, and you can kind of, you know, feed the hot hand, and there's balance there. Like, what does that do for a running game when it's not just one guy that's eating?
It's an element of surprise, especially when you got two different types of backs. And I think me and Ameer, we gel well. We complement each other so well. Going back to our days in Minnesota together, it's my dog. But you see just like the different things that we offer while also offering the same thing. It's pretty crazy. In the run game, the way that he can hit it, the way that I can hit it. In the pass game, the way that he can catch out the backfield, the way that I can. And we just hit these defenders with two different body types and two different presence. And, you know, you have to kind of account for who you're trying to tackle. And so when we can get rolling, we can get going, you see it helps us march down the field. And, you know, it's also lovely when both of us can touch the paint. Oh,
big time, man. I think you, like, if you're a fan of that, like, old school nasty football, you're rotating in running backs, and both guys are going 4 or 5 yards a pop. Like, you're just like, yeah, this is what it's supposed to look like. But hey, man, I don't want to make you late for meetings, but I did want to ask you about this before we get out of here. Boise State guy in the house, right? Big game, arguably the biggest game in Boise State history, upcoming on New Year's Eve. Like, what do you expect in terms of an environment, in terms of just juice that's going to be coming out of that place?
Man, I expect it to be top-notch. Boise's going to travel well for sure. Fiesta Bowl, we are dogs when it comes to Fiesta Bowl. So I expect them to put on a show. I expect the fans to show up. And it's one of those ones where, you know, it's a different format. It's not just a Fiesta Bowl. This is for the playoffs. So I'm super proud of those guys and the work that they've done to be in the position they are. And I'm rooting for them every step of the way.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. And you know, you and I were talking about Ashton Genty before we started rolling, man. And just in terms of, like, a dude that's fun to watch play football. I mean, what an incredible season for him. And I'm sure you've kind of been dialed in with kind of what he's meant to that community up there in Boise. And, man, it's just been, I think as like a fan of football and as like a big fan of college football, getting a chance to see him do his thing in front of the entire college football world, like, I think that'll be a blast. Because all of us, you know, we're Mountain West country, right? So you see a lot of him. But for the folks on the East Coast, like some of these bigger markets, like, man, he's going to wake some people up this weekend.
Yeah,
or next
definitely.
weekend.
And they're gonna show why, you know, he should have been the one to get the Heisman. Because I definitely think he put together that season. But, you know, now he can go get that championship. So hopefully he carries him there, and hopefully he gets that record too.
Yeah, hopefully we get it. I don't know if it's possible, but an Oregon-Boise State national championship.
That would be awesome.
How about that? We'll do that. That would be great. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you coming up. Like I said, I want to make sure you're not late for meetings. Happy holidays. Best of luck on Sunday, and we'll catch you with you soon, okay?
Appreciate you. Happy holidays.